Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Last night the remaining Warcraft Rumble team managed to fix Heroic Molten Core, so Heroic Molten Core is now fully playable and you can progress through the entire raid. And in this video I want to talk a little bit about, what else? What do I hope that the team is still able to accomplish and what I think they should be working on. First of all, last night's patch, it was build 118162, rolled out on July the 9th, and the only player-facing change in this patch is the Heroic Molten Core Wing 1 repeat reward fix. That one works now. You need to re-kill the boss if you killed it in its bug state. That was not registered, so you need to kill it again, and then you can progress through the entire Heroic Molten Core. And with that out of the way, what could the Janitor do next? I mean, we are going to start calling them the Janitor, right? Because Heroes of the Storm has been in maintenance for 3 years. The people there call the remaining team, I know there are multiple people, but they call them the Janitor. So I think we should adopt that glorious Blizzard tradition. And so, what could our Janitor do next? I think some of the key bugs should be a big priority. I actually ended up copying the topic names from the Rumble Discord so that if the team's watching this, they can find these more easily. But anyway, let's go through what I consider to be the main bugs right now in the game. So, still crashing by clicking a guild. When you try to join a guild, it can be really hard because the client very often crashes. The bigger the guild, the more likely it is to crash, and then you're just trying to speed and try to click a button fast before it crashes, and yeah, it's pretty bad. So that obviously is a major problem. Let's say somebody new comes in the game, wants to join a guild, and they just can't join a guild because the game crashes on them, and then they're going to go away. So that would be one of the big priorities. Then there's this bug that multiple people have experienced being stuck in tutorial. This is always Morgan the Collector. Some people have said that it actually goes away, so if you go away for an hour and you come back, then something has timed out and you're able to progress again. But there's something wrong with that anyway, so that would be one point where I hope something could be done. And then claiming rewards. I think there's something fundamentally wrong sometimes with claiming rewards. There are 3 different bugs, or they could actually even be just one bug. Unclaimable rewards every login. I have this on one of my accounts. I have 4 accounts. One of them experiences this every time I start the game. I get this, we shuffle around some rewards and missing items to your account, and I get 3 sets of these. So I have to click through 10 rewards every time I launch the game. That's pretty annoying. And of course, none of those rewards are actually going to come into my account. They are just not registered, and then I get this again. And it happens in other circumstances as well. Completely unable to PvP. Can't collect Season 14 rewards, stuck in a crash loop. So PvP rewards sometimes also unclaimable. And can't play Molten Core because unclaimable siege rewards. So sometimes you get stuck with a siege reward and then you can't claim that, and then you can't play that aspect of the game at all. So maybe all these 3 are connected somehow, but there's something wrong with the reward claiming, and I think that should be another big priority. Because if you can join guilds easily, if you don't get stuck in the tutorial, if you don't get locked out of certain game modes, yeah, that really helps with people actually playing the game. And then a bit of a smaller one, at least it should be more easy to fix. Thrall versus Doomhammer / Banshee, that's the title of the bug report. But the point is that wolves have the mind control. So you mind control Thrall and you still get hostile wolves. And that doesn't happen with Anub'arak and stuff. It used to happen, but they fixed that, so why couldn't they fix this for Thrall as well? Probably a more simple fix, but would make the game make lot more sense. These are obviously not the only bugs in Warcraft Rumble. Feel free to comment down below and tell me about your bug experiences. But these are the ones that I think would be the highest priority. And beyond those bug fixes, I mean, I know we only have engineers left and no game designers, but hey, now you're sort of a game designer too, right? No new minis are coming, so adjusting the PvP balance is one of the top avenues the devs can use to keep the game up, to keep people playing the game. I mean, I don't PvP myself, but I can understand that if nothing is coming, then people who PvP and have fun will actually stay playing. So Thrall wolf nerf probably would be something that they could start with. I mean, they don't have to make these comprehensive, huge balance patches. They could just tweak it a little bit, see how people like it, and work from there. It doesn't have to be huge. But Thrall is currently very, very strong in PvP, and they could start even with just like a minor Thrall nerf, see where that lands, keep working from there. I think that would make a lot of sense for a small team. And then there's events, and repeating events are what the maintenance mode announcement advertised, that they're going to focus on bug fixes and repeatable cyclic events. So yeah, please do. I know that there were some reworks going on with Hallows End and with Pilgrim's Bounty, so October, November. I'm uncertain if these were fully complete. Pilgrim's Bounty has that mythic co-op Gar coming, maybe, if it's complete anyway. So if those are complete, then that's great, that's fine. Then there were all the family events that were in development. We only got the Horde event with Thrall. I think they were intending to make one event per season and get a new mini in that event, but obviously the new minis are probably not going to happen. But maybe there's something that could still be salvaged from those. I mean, obviously the cyclic events could mean like Dark Moon Fair and Blinkturn and Gadget Bonanza. But if they want to go a little bit beyond that, maybe there's something they can work with these. And then, of course, content that already exists. Priestess, Arthas, and Thrall missions. They are in the game files. They are not currently available for players. Can these become something that's repeated at some point or permanently available or something? That would also be one avenue that they could research. And finally, maybe a little bit outside of the scope of the announcement, but what about making changes without having any new assets? So there was work in process. Can anything be salvaged from that and still published? Then I would assume that they want to add old emotes, add old skins to the store, because those are assets that exist and they could be monetized. They could slowly start adding those, make them repeating or something. Just get some of that stuff and sell that to people. That's like what Heroes of the Storm did as well. And one thing that I have thought about that could be possible without any new assets is dungeons. Dungeons are a little bit dull right now. They end at level 23, then you get some gold. It's a bit of a core to do them once you get to that point. They used to go to 30, but the problem was that they went higher and higher until you reached 30, and if you had a team that couldn't reliably do 30, then some weeks you just couldn't do a dungeon at all. You couldn't get any rewards because you just could not progress. And then we ended up in situations where people tried to kill like 2 bosses so that they don't get the dungeon level to be more difficult. That was a problematic system. But can they rework this so that you can do like some kind of a clear, get the weekly reward done, and then go into some kind of a challenge mode, harder and harder and harder, something like that. That would be something to be taken care of a little bit later, but just something to keep in mind, something that I think could still be done to make PvE side of the game a little bit more interesting without using any new assets. So that was some speculation and some hopes and wishes for, I'm going to call them the Janitor. I know there are multiple people there, but let's say the Janitor then. So the Janitor, please do something like this. I hope that you will be able to anyway. And yeah, that's what I hope for Warcraft Rumble. Obviously, it's not quite the same anymore now being in maintenance mode, but it doesn't have to be fully dead either. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.